780 road on the Ronald Reagan Tollway, I-88 eastbound, solid past 83 to the southbound Tri-State ramp. Police activity in the left lane, and you're heavy on the ramp. That's a crash. It's on the southbound Tri-State ramp. The Veterans Tollway delays on either side of North Avenue. Travel times on the expressways. The Eden's coming in 23. On the Kennedy, 34 out, 38 minutes in. Eisenhower, 53 in from I-90 at 48 out to the Jane Addams. Stevenson, 32 in, 46 out to the Veterans. Next report, 408 News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
All right, Neil, thanks so much. Mostly cloudy, maybe some rain in spots, a high of 45, a low tonight of 31. Clouds should break for some sunshine, a high again in the mid-40s. Low 50s by Thursday. We've got 41 in O'Hare, 40 in Aurora, 42 Lakefront.
Featuring the news that matters and breaking news at any time. This is Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Coming up in the next half hour on News Radio WBBM, Illinois' Attorney General among those speaking at a congressional hearing marking 5 years since the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
This is Nancy Hardy, one of 4 Democratic politicians charged over their protests outside the Broadview ICE facility, has dropped out of her race.
Plus, the Trump administration considers what's next for Venezuela after the capture of its president, Nicolas Maduro. The latest on that coming up from CBS News in Business.
I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg. Fresh record highs today for the Dow and the S&P thanks to AI stocks. The Dow today shooting up 485 points. The Nasdaq up 151. The S&P up 43.
We've got clouds and fog, 41 degrees at 4 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump, administration officials, and others are facing the future of Venezuela following Saturday's U.S. military invasion to arrest and bring President Nicolas Maduro to the U.S. to face drug trafficking charges. It was a U.S. operation. The post-Maduro scenario was weighed by the intelligence and military communities. CBS's Olivia Gazas.
In the short term, the agency found stability was most likely to come from people who were close to the Maduro system itself, and that senior regime figures, including the vice president, now President Delcy Rodriguez, already controlled the military, the security services, all of the machinery of the government.
Maria Corina Machado, the leader of Venezuela's opposition party, says interim President Delcy Rodriguez was one of the main architects of Maduro's oppressive regime. In an exclusive interview, Machado tells CBS's Tony DeCopel,
"It sounds like you're saying she's done a lot of bad in the past, but now she is a puppet of the United States."
Well, I will not speculate once again. I think she is in a very critical position because nobody trusts her. Nobody.
You can see more of the interview on tonight's CBS Evening News. Greenland and Denmark are calling for a speedy meeting with Washington's top diplomat after President Trump's renewed claims on the self-governing Danish territory. Tom Høyem, former minister of Greenland for the government of Denmark, tells BBC News.
And if Mr. Trump would come with such an offer, do not know how the Danes are. You do not know how the Greenlandic people are. We are not for sale.
The White House says President Trump has made it well known that acquiring Greenland is a national security priority of the U.S., and the president and his team are discussing a range of options. The Trump administration is withholding funding to help needy families with children in 5 states governed by Democrats. Officials cited fraud concerns as a reason for the action targeting California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York. Officials in the state say the administration is motivated by politics. Opening statements started today in the trial of former Uvalde schools officer Adrian Gonzalez. He's accused in the slow response to the mass shooting that left 19 students and 2 teachers dead in 2022. CBS's Jason Allen on what the defense is saying.
They acknowledge to them that this is a trial that's going to change them. They said they will not be the same person, the same people after seeing what they see and listening to what they hear in the expected 2 weeks of this trial. So they asked people to put that aside. It was a chaotic, confusing situation, they said in their opening statements, and that Adrian Gonzalez was acting.
The Dow closes above 49,000 for the first time, and the S&P 500 sets another record high. The Dow closed up 485 points. NASDAQ jumped 151. S&P 500 was up 43. This is CBS News.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
It is 4:03, Tuesday, the 6th day of January. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Fielding. We have 41 degrees, cloudy skies. We got some fog. The wind's out of the west now at 6 miles an hour. Cloudy for the rest of today. Lows in the 30s, warming up into Thursday. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up at 4:15, but first at 4. A hearing on Capitol Hill marks the 5th anniversary of the January 6th attack on the Capitol and featured plenty of Illinois representation. The story from WBBM's Andy Day.
Among those to speak in front of House Democrats, Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul.
The rule of law ensures that bedrock principles of separation of power, state sovereignty, and democratic accountability, due process, and equal protection under the law can be relied upon.
Raoul put the focus on his legal efforts to fight President Trump from deploying National Guard troops to Illinois and vowed to not give up that fight.
I and my partner, State Attorneys General, remain unafraid to defend the rule of law for all of the American people.
Other speakers included Adam Kinzinger, Robin Kelly, and Congressman Chuy Garcia.
He's abused military power to invade our cities, and now he's abusing military power to attack a foreign country, kidnap its leader, and steal its resources for the benefit of big oil companies. It's a shakedown.
Andy Day, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
A Cook County Board candidate who faces federal charges over protesting ICE in Broadview has announced she's throwing in the towel and dropping out of the race.
Citing what she calls the unimaginable legal process, plus emotional and financial costs, Kat Sharp says she's suspending her campaign for the 12th district seat. The Democrat said in a letter to supporters shared to social media she plans to focus on winning her case. Sharp, congressional candidate Kat Abu-Ghazaleh, and 4 other people have pleaded not guilty to conspiracy to impede a federal officer during protests outside the ICE facility in Broadview this fall. Sharp writes she'll continue to work as chief of staff to Alderman Andre Vasquez and says, quote, "I'm not going anywhere." Nancy Hardy, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Consumer advocates are stepping up their campaign against a $200 million rate increase request from People's Gas. Opponents rallied outside utility headquarters at the Aon Center today, saying customers already facing an affordability crisis cannot bear another bump in their rates. Jim Chilson is with the Citizens Utility Board.
About 150,000 People's Gas customers were more than 30 days behind on their gas bills by a total of $65 million in debt. We are dealing with a heating affordability crisis. We have been for years, and it could get worse now with this rate hike.
The utility says it needs the increase to pay for required pipe replacement work. It estimates the request would add about $10 to the average home heating bill starting next year if it is approved. 4 decades after 2 suburban high schools closed down, more memories of them are fading away.
Arlington High School in northwest suburban Arlington Heights shut down in 1984. Forest View High School, also in Arlington Heights, closed its doors 2 years after that. Now the Daily Herald reports District 214 will shred dozens of boxes of student data, including transcripts, grades, and attendance of the 2 schools that were kept for at least 60 years. The records, an estimated 664,000 individual pieces of paper, have been kept in storage, but District 214 is selling the building they were stored in, so the records will now be digitized and shredded. Terry Keschner, 1059 WBBM.
Chicago Uber and Lyft rides will start to cost more in certain areas as part of a new congestion tax.
The tax is in effect between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. 7 days a week and is dependent on where you're dropped off and picked up. For every ride in the newly defined congestion zones, the city will be tacking on an additional $1.50 per vehicle per ride. According to a map provided by the city, Zone 1 covers a large portion of downtown and stretches from Pilsen to 31st Street Beach and then along the lake to near Andersonville. Zone 2 runs from East 60th Street to South Cottage Grove and East Hyde Park Boulevard. Carolina Garibay, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
And President Obama inviting Chicagoans to apply for 150 new full-time roles at the Obama Presidential Center ahead of its planned opening later this year. Some of the opportunities will include work in the visitor's experience, facility management, and security jobs. Interested applicants can apply at obama.org/careers. It's 4:08. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. How are things moving on this Tuesday afternoon, Neil?
Well, it's a little hectic on the tollways, that's for sure. Let's start on the Tri-State southbound. A pretty big jam up before 159th Street.
I'm doing all right, Marietta.
Word of a vehicle on a guardrail there that wound up on...
I just want to say I'm doing all right, Marietta. Thanks for asking.
And some backups on I-88, the Ronald Reagan Tollway eastbound from 83 to the southbound Tri-State ramp. Police activity in the left lane and a crash actually on the southbound ramp in the right lane. On the Veterans Tollway, slow traffic, North Avenue, Roosevelt to North Avenue. That's northbound, then southbound between Army Trail and North Avenue. Looking at Route 53 in the northwest suburbs, no complaints. Southwest suburbs, I-80 with a backup westbound passing 355 over to Larkin. 8094, a slowdown in northwest Indiana, eastbound between Burr and Broadway. On the expressways, the Eden's coming in now 25 minutes from Lake Cook to the Kennedy Junction. Metro wants to remind you to avoid delays like these going to and from the north suburbs. You can always pick up a train. The UP North Line is available for you out of Glencoe. Looking at the Kennedy Expressway, a 34-minute ride outbound, 40 minutes in. Eisenhower, 57 inbound, 52 to drive out to the Jane Addams Tollway. Stevenson outbound, 34 if you're going to the Tri-State, 48 out toward Bolingbrook, and 355. About 40 in from the Veterans Tollway to DeSalvo Lakeshore Drive. Southside, the Dan Ryan out to the split, 35 and 17 inbound. No delays to be found on I-57. A slight delay on the Bishop Ford outbound from the Dan Ryan to the Stony Island feeder. Traffic is heavy on DeSalvo Lakeshore Drive north from Roosevelt to Jackson. Navy Pier to Chicago backed up, so is the southbound trip past north to Chicago. Delays through Graham Park as well. From the Metro Traffic Center, next report, 418, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
All right, Neil, thank you. Cloudy tonight, a low around 31, 32. Clouds breaking for sunshine tomorrow with a high of 46. Could reach 53 on Thursday, but we could have some rain as well on Thursday. Right now, 41 at O'Hare, 40 in Waukegan, 42 Lakefront, a record day on Wall Street. The Dow passes by 49,000, up 500 points. It's 410.
There are only about 4,300 publicly traded companies on the U.S. Stock Exchange. But there are an estimated 33 million companies in the U.S. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. The average investor is missing out on over 99% of the investment opportunity that's happening in this beautiful country until now. True portfolio strength is found beyond the confines of the S&P 500. Investing in promising companies before they go public. Private real estate, infrastructure, world-changing technologies. This is called the endowment model. The endowment model has historically outperformed the traditional model of just stocks and bonds. If you're an accredited investor and want more from your investments, it's time to think beyond just stocks and bonds. Call Trajan today, 630-230-7400. That's 630-230-7400.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
200-year-old building that has long housed a supper club in Edgerton, Wisconsin, was gutted by fire over the weekend.
Neighbors of the Lake House Inn on Lake Koshkonong reported the fire coming from the kitchen door at the back of the 3-story building. The local fire chief, Randall Pickering.
It's one of those buildings in a community where you dread when you hear that address.
Part of the building dates to 1847.
The actual original hotel building here is older than the state of Wisconsin itself.
It was just a staple of the community.
Members of families that previously owned the building shared memories with CBS 58 Milwaukee.
It was all local people that ran it, that knew about it, that's attached to it.
We've had wedding receptions here in our family and lots of family dinners.
The fire was believed to have started in the kitchen 3 hours after it closed for the night. The cause is under investigation. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
An area near O'Hare getting a familiar store with a twist.
It's not going to be an ordinary Costco. Plans have been approved for a new store on a 14-acre site in Des Plaines. It's on Devon Avenue, just west of the Tri-State. It's being called a Costco Business Center. It will carry different products catering to business customers. Some residents expressed concerns about gasoline fumes and car exhaust because there is going to be a gas station as part of this Costco Business Center. Peterson Lake is being filled in as part of the project. One resident complained instead of looking out at the lake, he'll now see a gas station from his window. Cisco Cotto, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And Indiana Congressman Jim Baird and his wife are recovering from a car crash and are expected to make a full recovery. Baird is grateful, his office says, for everyone's prayers during the time, but did not provide details about the crash. Earlier today, President Trump said he was praying that they get out of the hospital quickly. Baird was first elected in 2019 and represents West Central Indiana. A warmer work week toward Thursday. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up. It's 4:13.
Stay on top of the news. Sign up for WB.
What's up, everybody? SubX.News live on the spot reporting 4:14 p.m. January 6th, 2026. I messed up. I said it was the 7th already. I don't know. My days got mixed up today. I believe it's the 6th. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, I don't know. I got to get used to this new year here, I guess, huh? So I hope everybody's doing all right. We'll listen to some news. Maybe listen to some scanner feeds. We'll see what's going on today, all right? Let's listen up to the news.
Best ways. If you have pain from arthritis or
I hope everybody's doing good. Big stories in Chicago. Crazy guy on a roof, and they couldn't get negotiated to help them. Now, I didn't put it in the video, but I heard it. I went through it. There's too much tape. They asked for a negotiator for that guy on the roof. He had a knife, and they said no because he didn't have a hostage. So it's really nasty, the administrators in CPD. It was yesterday. You seen the car crash? No one showed up. They came after the crash, was pushed to the side by a fire department. The Chicago Police Department is becoming extremely nasty. Wow, there's no one here. I just realized that. Look at that. There's no one here. There's no one here. I just looked. There's no one out here. There's no one here. Michigan Avenue is empty, and it's 47 degrees out. Wow. Holy smokes. It's unbelievable. Well, I've never seen it this empty. I just got shocked. Wow, it's empty. SubX.News on the spot reporting 4:16 p.m. January 6, 2026. It's 47 degrees. It's really warm, and I didn't realize it. I was starting my live feed on my Facebook just now, and that's why I threw on this video. I can't believe how empty it is here. It's completely empty. Look at this. It's 4:16 p.m. It's a beautiful day. It's a Tuesday. Michigan Avenue is completely empty. It's almost abandoned. It's almost as bad as State Street. Look at that. I get it. Christmas is over, but it's a beautiful day, right? You watch. You'll see a cross. There's no one walking here. It's empty. Look at that. Look, there's no one here. Usually there's people right here at the Wrigley Building taking pictures. There's some people walking on the Michigan Avenue Bridge here, but I just stopped talking and I had to put on the video because it's like, wow. Holy smokes. It's completely abandoned on it. We're going to go through the rest of downtown. Completely empty here at 4:15 p.m. January 6, 2026.
Field goal, a successful onside kick, followed by a tying touchdown on a 4th down play, led to the overtime and DJ Moore's madness. Here's head coach Ben Johnson.
Teams understand when they play us now that they have to.
By the Wrigley Building.
They got to really close us out if they want to get the victory because.
There you go. You got people begging with their kids. Exploitation.
We can do it in a short amount of time, and I think we've proven that.
Injury-wise, the Bears have 2 players designated for return from injured reserve. It's Braxton Jones, the offensive tackle, and Kyler Gordon, the cornerback. C.J. Gardner-Johnson remains, though, in concussion protocol. The Bulls look shaky in last night's big loss at Boston. They will hope to regroup tonight before getting back on the floor at Detroit tomorrow night. Pistons 27-9, the class of the Eastern Conference. On the plus side, Kobe White back from injury last night. Hockey, the Hawks off tonight. They're at the United Center tomorrow night against their arch rival, the St. Louis Blues. The Hawks have won 3 straight, and the Blues and Hawks just about tied in their divisional standings. College basketball tonight here in town. DePaul taking on Georgetown at Wintrust Arena. You also have out in DeKalb, Northern Illinois against Toledo. Elsewhere in the NFL, Washington has fired defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. They have mutually parted ways with OC Cliff Kingsbury, so they need both coordinators in Washington. While in Dallas, former Bears head man Matt Eberflus is out as defensive coordinator. With sports at 16 and 46, I'm 670 The Score's Mike Esposito on News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Mike, thank you. 418 now. Traffic sponsored by Calchi. Here's Neil Theory.
A couple of tollway issues, guys, starting on the tri-state southbound. Some traffic before 159th and before I-80. Vehicle versus guardrail crash. The right lane is blocked. Getting reports that the...
Yeah, that was shocking. When I seen that, I had to stop. My jaw dropped. Now we got a little bit of traffic here, but it's a little bottleneck here with the buses. But that was shocking. I've never seen Michigan Avenue that empty. You only like on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. Sometimes, you know, they have events there, but that was wild, and that's not good for the city. That's our main shopping strip there besides State Street. That's a bad sign there. That's not good.
In from Manheim, headed out to Manheim, plan on 34 and 52 to drive out to the Jane Addams Tollway. Stevenson going out 34 to Tri-State, 48 to reach 355, 38 inbound, you're 25 in from 294. Southside Expressways delays on the Dan Ryan, mainly outbound. That's why it's 37 to the split. I-57 good on both sides. Bishop Ford slowing outbound from the Dan Ryan to the Stony Island feeder, and DuSable Lakeshore Drive is packed in either way through Graham Park and getting to the stoplight at Chicago Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Calchi. Make money predicting the college football playoff legally nationwide with Calchi. From sports to politics, culture, and more. If it matters.
Here, I'll say this thing. When I used to work downtown, let me get out of the intersection. I used to come here and have lunch. They used to have really good chicken soup over at the ice skate rink over there. That's the grill, right? Ramp Park Grill. We're going to see why the traffic's up here, right?
We have 41 at O'Hare, 40 in Aurora and in Waukegan, 42 Lakefront. A rally on Wall Street today, actually a record-setting day as the Dow surpasses the 49,000 mark, up by 500 points. It's 420. Our top story this hour, one of Illinois' top leaders says the Bears' latest threat to pick up and move to Northwest Indiana has not convinced him the team needs Springfield's help to stay in Chicago. WBBM political editor Jeff Buchholz will join us live at 4:31 with much more on that story. Well, the nation's only free summer outdoor festival dedicated to classical music returns to Grant Park this summer. The Grant Park Music Festival is celebrating its 92nd season and will kick off June 10th with a 10-week classical music concert series. President and CEO Paul Winberg says this year's programming will also include music in honor of America's 250th birthday.
And we decided that America 250 was the perfect opportunity to really highlight American composers, American music. So if you were to attend one of our concerts this summer, you're going to hear things from folks like, you know, George Gershwin or Aaron Copland or Leonard Bernstein, Duke Ellington, and some of the music of Broadway.
The season will also feature 2 world premieres, several Illinois and Chicago premieres, and headlining concerts from singer-songwriter Ben Folds and opera star Karen Slack. The music festival started back in 1935 as a Chicago tradition of free classical music concerts to uplift the city during the Great Depression. Chicago Bears coach Ben Johnson lookalike contest happening ahead of the playoff game against the Packers this weekend. This Thursday, fans of all ages are welcome to attend the contest at the Wintrust Sports Complex in Bedford Park. The first place winner will receive a $1,000 Visa gift card that can be used for postseason tickets, round-trip limo transportation to and from the game, and free car washes for a year from Gash and Wash. The runner-up will get a $500 Visa gift card and free pizza for a year from Moretti's. Finally, the third place winner will win a $300 Visa gift card. Bloomberg Business coming up at 4:22.
Sometimes the thought of being in your warm and cozy home is what gets you through the day. But what happens when you get home and there is no heat? Who do you call for fast, reliable service? 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, you can consider it done when you trust the experts at ABC Plumbing, Sewer, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Book your appointment today at 4abc.com and consider it done.
Home means everything to you. So when rates drop, you don't just sit back. Rocket Mortgage watches the market to help you save money when the time is right. We make refinancing simple and savings even simpler. Never miss a new...
I hope everybody's doing good. You're having a great new year. And we're pushing forward. I think that's the big thing that I'm really, really excited about this year. I was over at I guess I'll tell you guys about what I did today. I was at the Internal Affairs, I guess that's what it is. It was regarding that October incident I had with the Chicago police, the mayor's detail at Harold Washington Library. I don't know if you guys remember that. They kind of ganged up on me, surrounded me. They were videotaping me and they said I need to move, keep moving. Because I said, what's going on here? There was a whole bunch of SWAT cars. It was like a bunch of cop cars there. And I'm like, yeah. Well, and I started doing my editorial commentary like, yeah, look at this guy. He says it's safe. Yeah, he's got all these police officers. Yeah, there was a SWAT vehicle there, by the way. And it's pretty how sick he is. He's a sick man. Right? That's someone who's... I apologize. Yeah, so the police department today. And I had a 10 o'clock appointment. The lady was an hour and 15 minutes late. An hour and 15 minutes late. Made me wait. Whatever. I told her I want the videos. I want any communications they had and what they were doing. I said, I don't care he has a security detail. I have a right to say I don't think it's right. And they're spending money, but I was saying this, I mean, what is he scared because he's from Elgin? Or is he that narcissistic that he needs that, right? He's got that, what is it called? Is it the Caesar complex or what is it? There's a Napoleon complex, right? That he's this little man that needs all this power on him to make him look great. So I don't know which one it is. I really don't care. I'm not that kind of a doctor. I could care less about that. I was just doing my job reporting on the scene, and I told her that, and I said, I want to know who these guys are. I want the video, and I want any communications they had about me. That's what I want. So I'm going to start working on that, and I told you 2026 is a different day for man, you got a guy right in the middle of the fucking road. What the hell is that? You got guys in the middle of the street here, man. I don't know what that guy's doing. He's in the middle of the road. Like, I don't know what that is, man. What is that? Here you got traffic running and there's a dude in the middle of the road. Whatever. That's how our city runs. It's like somebody just commented. That guy on the roof. He goes, in the old days, we drag him off the roof. Said, you got 3 minutes, we drag him down. Nowadays, there's 50 officers watching them for 5 hours, right? Come on, man. That's not a useful, that's not a way to, that's a wasteful use of our resources, right? And that's the point. You have a guy with a 150 person security detail, right? That messes with reporters. Like, what are you doing? And no one, I'm going to tell you this, no one in the city of Chicago is doing anything about it. I'm going to be honest with you, none of those politicians, all 54 aldermen, they ain't doing shit. There ain't no politicians standing up. There's a few people on the internet talking some stupid shit, but there ain't nobody doing nothing. There's no one doing nothing. There ain't no one doing nothing. Zero. Nothing. Look, I was part of the group that took out the last union leadership. The last union leadership were in power for 40 years. They were the machine of the union. You couldn't take them out. I know how it was done. I know how we did it. And I know how we won. And I can tell you how the union is still in power. Those are the ones that say Venezuela is good. That guy. Those guys. Jackson Powder, Stacey Davis Gates. I don't know who the other officers are. They switch them up a little bit. But Jackson Powder's still up there. Stacey Davis Gates is going to get out and Jackson's going to go up. Either he'll do it this time or next time. He's going to do it by a session. They don't trust. Look, that group don't trust voters. They do not trust voters. So what they do is they manipulate the vote. They either suppress the vote, they mess with the vote, or they do a session, right? They do it where they quit and one guy goes up, right? That's how they do it. That's how they're going to do it with Jackson Potter, right? That's how they did it with Stacey. Stacey wasn't elected. Karen was sick. Karen stepped down. Jesse stepped in. Then Jesse stepped down and Stacey went up. Don't you remember that stuff? That all went like that. You don't remember that? I do. I was inside of that. That's why I got fired. I said, you shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. It's hocus pocus stuff. And they didn't like me, and then they got rid of me, right? Whatever. But they're going to do the same thing with Brandon. And how does this all tie in, right? It ties in with corruption. When you have cops that don't identify themselves, that's corruption. Listen to the news.
It all starts at Elmhurst. Go far, do well.
4:30 news.
Start today at elmhurst.edu.
It's the local news. Let's listen up.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
4:30. Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Fielding. Here are the top stories on News Radio WBBM. We'll have the latest on remarks by a top Illinois official about the Bears' threat to move to Northwest Indiana. The latest on that coming up live. The Chicago Housing Authority search for a permanent CEO begins again from square one.
This is Mike Krauser. A Chihuahua that disappeared in Houston 5 years ago is found wandering in Rockford and is now back home.
Plus, President Trump meets with Republican lawmakers to talk about the U.S. operation in Venezuela that resulted in the capture of President Nicolas Maduro in business.
Another record-setting day on Wall Street on renewed demand for anything related to AI. The Dow today up 485 points, the Nasdaq up 151, the S&P up 43. I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg.
Cloudy skies, 41 degrees. The news continues now at 4:31, sponsored by Vikings Ski Shop. New at 4:30, the Chicago Bears' high-profile overtures toward Northwest Indiana as the team searches for a new home have not convinced a top Illinois leader yet that the state needs to help the team stay in the area. WBBM political editor Jeff Buchholz has been monitoring the debate. He's here at the anchor desk with an update. Jeff, what's the latest?
Yeah, Lisa, don't get it twisted. State House Speaker Emanuel Chris Welch is a Bears fan.
We're all Bears fans in here, right? We're all Bears fans.
No, you're not if you don't want to keep them.
The City Club of Chicago today that he's planning to attend Saturday's playoff game against Green Bay. But the Chicago Democrat also said that the team's request for a break on property taxes for the old Arlington Park property comes as lawmakers try to deal with the effects of inflation.
We're trying to bring down the cost of living. And talking about a brand new Bears stadium, when this one's not even 25 years old, that's insensitive to what real people are going through right now.
Lisa, the speaker says his door is always open, but he doesn't see the support among lawmakers for giving the team the break that it says it needs.
Yeah, the back and forth and the emotional roller coaster is sometimes too much. So what about that talk about Northwest Indiana?
Well, Lisa, the speaker basically says it's just that, talk. He says he thinks the Bears are just negotiating and he's going to let the legislative process play out.
All right, we'll keep it tuned here. Thank you, political editor Jeff Buchholz. In other news, it's back to square one for the search for the new head of the Chicago Housing Authority.
Julian Baldwin, the CEO of a housing authority in Bridgeport, Connecticut, is staying put. Significant, given that she was considered to be the leading candidate to take over as CEO of the Chicago Housing Authority, which has been in search of a new permanent leader since 2024, when Tracy Scott resigned from her post. It's now back to the drawing board for the CHA, with a spokesperson saying that the largest single owner of rental housing in Chicago is considering, quote, numerous other candidates for the position, among them former Alderman Walter Burnett Jr., who has the backing of Mayor Johnson, but faces federal opposition over alleged conflicts of interest, given he and his wife had been CHA voucher landlords since 2007. Andy Dang, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A missing dog from Texas has been found in Rockford.
The Chihuahua named Bella had an ID tag on her collar when she disappeared on New Year's Eve in 2020. The family put up flyers, knocked on doors, and eventually gave up hope. Then came a phone call.
Is this a scam? And I think he was just having a hard time grasping, is this real?
CBS 23 in Rockford reports that Stephanie Hicks with a rescue organization called Care for Pets helped to get Bella back to Houston, and owner Sergio Torres.
Man, it was a very emotional moment for everybody. Even when she first saw me, you could tell that she still recognized me a little bit.
The owner was identified by the dog's microchip, and rescue volunteers chipped in money for one of them to fly to Houston with the dog, returning her to the Torres family nearly 5 years to the day that she went missing. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
4:34 now. President Trump meets with House Republicans.
It was billed as a meeting to align priorities before next year's midterm elections. But for nearly 90 minutes at the Kennedy Center, the president digressed, defending his actions before the Capitol riot 5 years ago today.
In my speech, peacefully and patriotically.
And joked about being liberal-minded to win transgender support.
I'm trying to get that vote. It's not an easy vote to get.
He also mused about history being against the incumbent president's party doing well in the next election.
They say that when you win the presidency, you lose the midterm.
And the GOP has little margin, with Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation and the death of Doug LaMalfa. Still, the president says his first year was so successful, Republicans should win in November.
All you have to do is sell it.
If they don't,
I'll get impeached.
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
And as members of Congress try to figure out what the U.S. military invasion means in Venezuela, some selected leaders are learning more that the Trump administration's plans for the future there. CBS's Caitlin Hewer-Burns has more on tomorrow's agenda.
Tomorrow's briefing will be the first time that all lawmakers are briefed by these top administration officials. And the questions that they have are questions that we all have, which is, what is the end game here? The president says that we are now running Venezuela. What exactly does that look like?
Tomorrow, the administration is also meeting with major oil company leaders to try to sell them on the idea of investing in Venezuela's struggling oil industry. Well, House Democrats hold an informal hearing to commemorate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol 5 years ago.
A former Capitol police officer is slated to testify, along with a rioter who refused a pardon from President Trump. Lawmakers are also expected to share their reflections from that day. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says the unofficial hearing is expected to, quote, set the record straight on the violent insurrection. Democrats in the Senate are planning a series of floor speeches to honor the more than 100 law enforcement officers who were injured or lost their lives. Nicole Gillian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And the Trump administration plans to halt billions of dollars in federal funding for social service programs.
SubX.News on the spot reporting.
Here in Illinois, the Department of Health.
4:37 p.m. Tuesday, January 6th. We were just on Michigan Avenue.
Nearly $2.4 billion for the child.
Now we're on State Street. It's a beautiful day. It's 46 degrees. It's completely empty. Downtown Chicago is completely abandoned. Michigan Avenue was empty, and now you see State Street is completely empty. There is no workers here. There's no shoppers here. There's no tourists here. There's a few people walking around. That's it. It's completely empty. There's the bus stop. You got a homeless dude hanging out there, man. He took over the bus stop. The people that are commuting, they can't even use the bus stop because the homeless guy is there. You see that, how that works in our city? Look at that sky rise there. That high rise is completely abandoned. That whole thing is abandoned there. That one right there. The whole thing. That store is abandoned. This whole block you'll see is abandoned here. That's how this works in the city of Chicago. The Christmas season didn't push past the, not even what, this is the first week. Isn't this the first week, or is this already the second week in the year, right? It's the first full week, right? But there you go. It's completely empty here. Look at that. All those stores are completely empty. See that there? That side's empty too. It's empty down here, man. Again, it's rush hour. You can't tell me it's not rush hour. And again, don't forget, there's multiple aspects to downtown. Not only is the office workers down here, which they're not down here anymore, but this is a shopping district. You can see there, that's that cafe. It's got a few people in there. It's all right. There you got a bike there sitting on the ground blocking. But you see that whole block there is empty there. You got another block there, to half a block that's empty there. There's a few people here. But this is not what a downtown should be looking like at 4:30. And you can keep making excuses and lying, right, about COVID, which, I don't know, that's how many years ago is COVID now? People keep saying COVID and work from home. I mean, I don't know what does that have to do with a shopping district? Well, they don't go shopping no more. Okay, then that's a fact. See, then there's some more homeless guys sitting over there. There's a homeless person there. There's what, 4 or 5 homeless people there? There's the Target store. There's barely anybody in there. See that there? There you go. I mean, I don't think there's 100 people out here total. Maybe 200. There's a couple of more homeless people over there. See that there? And there's no one here. This is the main part of downtown right here. Ain't no one here. There's no traffic. There's nothing. There's zero. It's nothing. And there's another homeless guy right there. See that there? It's mostly homeless people. I mean, who wants to come to a downtown when you see all these homeless people laying around on the sidewalks? It shows that the city don't care, right? There, that's boarded up over there. That's plywood over there. See the plywood over there? And that plywood there? And that's block 37. That's the newest thing downtown, and it's boarded up. See that there? See the stores there? There. It's boarded up. That's plywood, I believe, unless I'm mistaken. It don't look open over there. And you don't see nobody going in and out. Just all you have to do is watch a store for a little while so you can count how many people going in and out of the store, right? There ain't nobody down here. I mean, I don't know what else to say to people. This ain't being negative. This is being positive. I'm showing what's happening. And we have to discuss that. Why is it happening? Well, it's taxes, crime, criminality, thievery from politicians. Look, this is Macy's right here, and there ain't nobody here. See that there? It's completely empty. There's no one here. It's like a Sunday almost. There might be more people here on a Sunday. I don't know. I mean, there's a few people here at the bus stop there. There's another homeless guy sitting over there. I mean, you have a lot of homeless people, right, sitting around. You got some people walking here. But you see that there's nobody going into the Walgreens over there. People say, "Oh, see, you're making things up." There's people walking. No, this is the third largest city in the United States of America. It's 4:42 p.m. It's on a Tuesday. It's a work day. It's a shopping day, and it's 46 degrees. It's one of the most beautiful Januaries that you can have ever. It's like historic. We're going to get up to 50. Well, we're going to do this all week. I think that corner store is empty. There. You see that? There's another store that's empty. So there's a lot of stores empty. There's homeless people laying around, right? There's no shoppers. There's no, I guess, office workers anymore. That's what they say. That's COVID, right? COVID means office workers aren't here. I guess, I don't know. And then, they're shut this down for a few years here. I guess that's why they're doing this construction here. That's the staging area. That's what I figured out. They're going to put all the parts there, right? Because it's going to dismantle that. See that? There ain't nobody here waiting to get into a show. See that there? So that's downtown Chicago. We're coming north from Van Buren all the way to Lake Street. And there you go. There's a hotel there. You don't see no foot traffic. I mean, basically this station is shut down now, right? It's going to be shut down for 3 or 4 years, I think. Which is, it's a good thing to fix things up. I mean, it is what it is. It's going to cost, let's say, $400 million or something like that. Like a lot of millions. So there you go. They opened up that Chick-fil-A finally, right? They had it closed all summer. So, but yeah, look, it's worse than a Sunday here, man. Look at that. There ain't no one here. It's kind of scary. For someone who's I used to go to school there at Hill Washington College, right down there. I used to come here every day for many years. There you go. It's completely empty. Look at that. Completely empty. Abandoned. There ain't no one here, man. That's all I got to tell you. There ain't no one here. Scary State Street is so abandoned, it's unimaginable. During rush hour on a work day, Tuesday evening. January 6, 2026, about 4:30 p.m. Yep.
Response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
noise, Brad Evans from BetMGM tonight. Listen Monday through Friday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports as we cover the biggest sports stories from coast to coast.
Chicago, Illinois.
NFL playoffs, college basketball conference races, and more. Download the Odyssey app now and listen from anywhere. BetMGM tonight, live and interactive, presented by BetMGM. Tune in, Chihuahuas.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over...
I mean, it's scary. Here's the reason it's scary. It's like, where did all those people go? You know, and imagine this, that someone keeps saying, oh, wow, crime is down, and they don't acknowledge this fact, right? That it's empty. Even Greg says it, taxes, crime, right? We have to start acknowledging these things to go forward. You have to be honest. You have to be accountable. You got to understand the consequences. Who knows what it was? Was it COVID? Was it the riots? Who knows what it is? Taxes? It can be a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe it's generational wealth transfer. It's the old and the young. Who knows? It's all kinds of things, right? But here's the point that we got to do. If we don't accept it, and we keep lying. I mean, there's tons of people out there that lie. They said the New Year's Eve thing was spectacular. It was big. And listen, it was actors. It was all actors. It was funny. It was actors. It was fake. Yet on my post they said, "Oh, it was big," and I was there, and no one. And then I went to their profiles. There's everyone who said that it was a lot of people. I went to their profile. There's not one picture of a New Year's, nothing. No New Year's pictures on their profiles. It was weird. Like, huh? Not even a family Happy New Year's thing. Not even a Happy New Year. Not even a Happy New Year this year. None. Every one of those people who said that the New Year's party in downtown Chicago was okay, none of them had a Happy New Year on their page. None. Zero. Like, absolutely none. They're all fake. They're all actors. They're all fake people, right? That's what we become. Look, it's empty down here. I gotta pull over because I'm uploading something right now, right? There we go. I mean, look, and if you think of what I'm saying is negative, then I'm sorry. I mean, then you're too sensitive or something. I don't know what you are. But if people don't want to accept what's happening, then how are we going to go forward? How are we going to actually go forward with fixing what's in front of us, right? How are we going to do that, right? You kind of get it? How do you, if you don't accept your car is broken, if you don't accept that you don't have a good relationship with your spouse, then how are you going to go forward? You're going to fight the divorce? You're going to fight the broken? Kind of silly. You kind of get, I'm being kind of theatrical right now. You kind of get it? I'm kind of, or facetious is the word, right? But think about it. It's kind of, sorry about the live feed today. But what I was saying is, how do we change something if we don't accept reality, right? If you keep fighting that broken relationship, if you don't accept your car's engine blew up, right? If you don't accept that you're overweight, right? If you don't accept that, I don't know, you don't have enough money to go out to eat, right? That you need to do either save money or you need to make more money. I don't know what it is. But you kind of get where I'm going with that? If we don't have acceptance, then how do we go forward? How do we correct the issues that are here? Right here. I mean, where are we at? There's another store. I mean, how many stores have you seen that are closed downtown? That whole place I used to eat, that was Garvey Court right there. I used to eat in that place in the 80s and 90s. I ate in there. That was one of the best food courts right there. They had to build out plywood, a plywood pop out, so the drug dealers don't sit on their steps. The business had to build that thing there so the drug dealers wouldn't be there. Kind of get it? I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I don't know what else to talk about today, right? There's some news about Venezuela. There's views about this. I mean, I went off a little bit on my Twitter account because I got these MAGA. They're hanging out there. See, now that guy might be just walking around. But the point I'm trying to make here is I'm a teacher, so the way I learn how to teach is you have to repeat it because people won't accept what you say. It takes 2 or 3. I don't know what the stats are on how long it takes you to learn something. I don't know how that is. I know there's studies on it. But I learned as a teacher that we have to do repetition, right? That to help people learn, including me at 57, if I want to learn something, I have to repeat it. I have to read it. I have to look at a video. I have to maybe talk to somebody about it, maybe try it here and there, and then I figure it out, right? Maybe I learn it, maybe I don't. Maybe I forget it. I don't know what it is. But fucking guy beeping his horn behind me. Fucking, there's a truck right behind him with drywall on it. Beeping his horn, man. They don't even look. They're doing whatever over here. This is all around messed up around here. Maniacs, right? Go, he's cleaning up. We'll stop by, right? We'll say hello. Sorry about the swearing, but I'm tired of that. That's our problem. We have a problem where people are not. And it's getting cleaned up. It's getting cleaned up here. I'm gonna stop by, man. Just say hello. I don't mean to be mean and use bad words, but I mean, sometimes it's just ridiculous how people act nowadays. And we need to say that. You need to tell people, stop. Stop the behavior, right? And I know people don't want to do it because people are scared. They don't know what's going to happen to them if they confront people, but we have to. It's like this guy in Uvalde, the cop. He waited 1 hour to go in there. They were already dead in there. God rest those souls. Sorry about those kids passing away. The guy, there's a cop on trial now. He didn't go in for an hour. What is that? Why are you a cop? Why are you a soldier? Why are you a governor? Why are you a mayor? Why do we have a mayor that talks about a drug-dealing dictator, communist dictator, saying, yeah, it's illegal to arrest him? What planet are we on that a mayor talks about a dude that was arrested for drug dealing? What is that? I don't even get that. Where is he? One, Brandon Johnson, isn't even a lawyer. He's not a lawyer. So he can't even say that. I don't say it's legal or not. You can say you agree with it. Yeah, Brandon Johnson, I believe he wrote it's illegal. Well, he's not even a fucking lawyer. What the fuck is that? You're not even a fucking lawyer. You're some fucking has-been from Elgin that got a job through his wife to work for Graham over there. He worked for not Deb Graham, the other Graham, a black lady, older black lady, that the CTU didn't like at the beginning. Do you know that or you don't? He worked for politics since he's been 18. He got the job through his wife to work for an alderman's office. Do everybody know that or not? He never worked in his life. He's a has-been. He's never worked. He's never had a job. Period. Wait. How do you work for an alder person in Chicago when you're from Elgin? Hey, I just thought about that. How did he get involved in Chicago politics from Elgin? That's an interesting story. Why don't you look into it? See, when we discuss these things, and sometimes I go off and I say bad things and I swear, and maybe people don't like the way I talk. Oh, well, too bad. You can go find another place to go get your news. It's okay with me. That's what America's about. It's about competition and choice. But I guess the idea that I'm getting to is here. If we don't start working and keeping people accountable, and when the guy beeps his horn and in front of me there's a forklift with a bunch of stuff, and I don't say stop, then when is it gonna stop? When is it gonna? And you can say, well, that's road rage, John. I don't want to be involved. I'm scared. I don't want to be. What's that one? The Network? That was the movie? I had enough, right? At the end? I can't take it anymore. I'm not at that point. But you kind of get where I'm saying. When are we gonna say, as a society, enough is enough? When are we going to say that? And I'm going to be honest with you, even with Trump, some of that stuff that Trump does, it's outrageous, some of the stuff he does. What's up, Isidore? So, at one point we got to say that. Why is Brandon Johnson mayor? Because people didn't go out and vote. He went with, I don't know, what was the statistics, like less than 20% of the vote of the whole city, or even, I think when they aggregated out to the whole city, registered voter, I don't even think he got 20%. He's running he's running a city of 2.5 million people with less than 20% of the voters that voted for him. Imagine that, right? There's somebody living right there. Look at that. Is that somebody homeless right there on Kinsey and State? See that right there in front of you? I think that is, right?
Just past 8094, looks like everything has been cleared off the roadway there. Those delays really starting to ease. On the Illinois side of things here, your expressways, if you're traveling through the north suburbs, on the east coming inbound, expect 32
there's somebody living there, right?
Lakewood Road. Outbound just 17, a little slow off the junction.
There you go, man. Don't you see that?
Head to the end, 43 minutes, 25 in off the junction. Going outbound 20 to Montrose, you do save a few minutes in the expressways.
Right there, man.
A 38-minute ride to O'Hare. The Eisenhower inbound just about an hour from the Jane Addams and 50 to get out to the Jane Addams Tollway. Metro wants to remind you to avoid tough delays like these. Pick up a train, the Milwaukee District West Line you can catch out of Bentonville. On the Stevenson, you're
2 things to show everybody.
From the Veterans Tollway. Southside, the Dan Ryan, pretty heavy outbound from the Jane Burger before 18th, and again from 35th to the Split. Just about 40 minutes out, coming inbound just a little way from Cermak into the Janeburg interchange. Delays on 57 out from the Ryan to Halstead and I-80 to Ulmer. And Division 4 outbound.
It's 5 o'clock Tuesday. We're at Kinsey and State. First of all, 2 things I want to show you here, right? It's completely empty. It's a beautiful day. It's 40 degrees, right? See that Kinsey Hotel? We're at Kinsey and State. Right, there you go. But that's what you got now. You got people living right on the sidewalk. You see that there? Look at that. It's completely empty here. There's no one walking here. It's the middle of rush hour. It's 5 o'clock. This is a residential area. People come this way from downtown. Right? There you go. You got people living right on the sidewalk here in the city of Chicago. There you go. Kinsey and State. See that there? It's completely empty. One more time. Tuesday evening. There's no one here, but you got people living in the middle of the sidewalk right there. There you go. SubX.News. There you go. You see that there? That's wild there. This is some news. It's beautiful out. If you haven't been out, you should go out. It's pretty warm out.
Cloudy, 41 degrees. It's 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The Justice Department says the shooter who killed 2 Brown students and an MIT professor planned the attack for months. The DOJ has revealed that Claudio Neves Valente had planned the attack for at least 6 semesters and left video behind. CBS's Anna Schechter.
He abandoned and homeless people sleeping on the sidewalk. Kensian State.
Quite some time.
5
He said,
p.m.
quote,
January
I had
6,
plenty of
2026.
opportunities, especially this semester. I had plenty of opportunities, but I always chickened out.
Former Brown student and Portuguese national was found dead in a New Hampshire storage facility. Greenland and Denmark are asking for a speedy meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio as President Trump talks about taking over the self-governed Danish territory.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt released a statement saying President Trump has made it well known that acquiring Greenland is a national security priority of the United States, adding military action is an option. Tom Hoem is the former minister of Greenland for the Danish government.
There's absolutely no reason for this situation. No reason.
He added buying Greenland isn't an option either.
We are not for sale.
Trump recently hinted
We're
he'll
not
make a
for
decision
sale.
on Greenland in about
I
2
like
months.
that.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Prior to the capture of Nicolas Maduro, the CIA was commissioned to produce an assessment modeling potential political leadership scenarios in Venezuela should Maduro cease to be president. CBS's Olivia Gazas reports.
We don't know exactly when the assessment was commissioned, but we do know that it was briefed to the president and his closest advisors as he was weighing whether to authorize this Operation Absolute Resolve.
A group of lawmakers and the families of fallen Capitol Hill police officers gathered to mark 5 years since the deadly January 6th U.S. Capitol attack. CBS's Allison Keyes.
What's up, Isidore?
Holding candles, a group of Democrats gathered on the steps of Capitol Hill where rioters attacked lawmakers 5 years ago.
We must never forget.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer was at his desk that day when
Thousands of rioters, egged on by Donald Trump, stormed the U.S. Capitol.
Schumer blasted the president for pardoning the rioters. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
A year after wildfires devastated areas of Los Angeles, the new fire chief spoke today about some of the lessons learned and some of the changes that will be made. Jaime Moore was not chief at the time of the Palisades and Lockman fires.
There were clearly significant shortcomings in our response as a department. And as the newly appointed fire chief, the responsibility for how this department prepares, deploys, and adapts for the future rests with me.
Record day on Wall Street for the Dow and S&P 500. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age.
5 o'clock, we're going west on Kinsey here. West on Kinsey, you see. It's abandoned and there's people sleeping right on Kinsey. That's wild. That used to be one of the busiest corners anywhere right there, if you remember. That's sad, man. We're going down the drains, man. That's a little negative that I just said there. That's a little negativity there. But I don't know what else to say. Yeah, that didn't look too good there. I know people ain't gonna like some of my posts today, but it's a beautiful day. It's 46 degrees. It's strange, right? Where's everybody?
Today's temperatures in the 40s, warmer Thursday. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up at 5:15. But first at 5, Northwestern Memorial Hospital in downtown Chicago plans to expand its emergency room. But ER workers have concerns. WBBM's Terry Keshner just got back from a news conference and joins us live at the Anchor Desk with details. Terry.
Yeah, Lisa, hospital workers rallied outside Northwestern Memorial Hospital near Erie and Fairbanks to say a bigger ER needs proper staffing. Ann Igo with the Service Employees International Union says Northwestern's ER already has an average wait time of 5.5 hours.
That's not because of space, and this is not a new problem. It is because of a problem of staffing.
The ER workers have made proposals to give more shifts to current workers, increase employees in the ER waiting room, and they also are supporting legislation to increase staffing in hospitals across the state. Northwestern Memorial.
You know why they're expanding? Because of the shooting and the crimes, right? That's why they're expanding the ER, because they all come here from downtown. Everybody knows that, right?
Northwestern Medicine for comment on this.
So when is this expansion supposed to happen?
Well, Northwestern Medicine has a hearing scheduled for next week before the Health Facilities and Services Review Board to seek approval to expand the ER, so this is all still very much in the works.
All right, thanks, Terry, so much. Meantime, consumer advocates are stepping up their campaign against a $200 million rate increase request from People's Gas.
Stop treating your customers
like an ATM.
Jim Chilson from the Citizens Utility Board rallied with supporters outside People's Gas headquarters at the Aon building. The utility wants to add about $10 a month to the average home heating bill starting next year to fund replacement of about 1,000 miles of old lead service pipes.
Everybody agrees.
Didn't like the gas price go down, but they want to jack up our rates? Did we get a deal because the gas prices are down? No, these dudes are ripping us off. Pat Quinn should get back into the Cub. That's what made Pat Quinn famous.
To be able to do the work that
Where's
the
he
ICC directed us to do.
Consumer advocates say the utility should explore less expensive methods. The People's spokesman says it is. We're in the newsroom, Jeff Buckles. News Radio 105.9. WBBM.
Today marks the 5th anniversary of the January 6th attacks on the U.S. Capitol. In Washington, D.C., Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul told House Democrats he will continue to ensure the Trump administration follows the rule of law, especially when it comes to National Guard deployment.
Let me be clear. The American people, regardless of where they reside, should not live under the threat of occupation by the United States military.
But it's under $3, so it should be cheaper. It's weird. Look, it's weird. When prices drop, nothing else drops. Our taxes don't drop. Prices don't drop. No, we don't get rebates. That's what we should start asking about. If these things happen, what? It's like during COVID. You know, there was a surplus in money everybody knows during COVID, the government made a lot of money. A lot of money. That money all disappeared. I don't think people understand how much money the government made because they didn't have to pay for those buildings to be occupied. They didn't pay for maintenance. They didn't pay for toilet paper. They didn't pay for coffee. They didn't pay for any of that stuff. They saved hundreds of millions of dollars during COVID. Where did the money go? No one knows. It disappeared. COVID money I'm not talking about the extra COVID money. I'm talking about the budgeted money to run a building with the people in it. That they didn't need that. That was a surplus. Yeah. I used to run stuff before. I know what I'm talking about.
Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Boxer Mike Tyson suing his former cannabis business partners for $50 billion.
Former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson has filed a federal lawsuit in Illinois alleging that executives tied to a Chicago-based marijuana branding company, Karma Hold Company, engaged in extortion and money laundering. According to the complaint, Karma's former president and former chairman are accused of misusing company funds and demanding kickbacks, including a $50,000 Rolex watch. Attorneys for both men deny the allegations, telling Front Office Sports that no wrongdoing occurred. Also, Karma Hold Company has filed its own lawsuit seeking more than $10 million from the former executives. In the newsroom, Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
It's 5:08. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. Here's Neil Fiorino.
All right, Lisa, trouble spot.
See, the marijuana company, that's the whole idea what I just mentioned about the COVID. They said a whole bunch of money was made. Somebody made a whole bunch of money somehow, right? But somebody got ripped off there, right? They said, you guys made a bunch of money, but I didn't make money. Now they're suing them, right? The same thing happened to us as taxpayers during COVID. And that guy's got his top open there. We got ripped off during COVID. The whole country got ripped off. Every city, every municipality, every government. There were surpluses. Yes. Did businesses shut down? Did business get hurt because of customers? Yes. But other businesses flourished, right? The takeout food, the delivery services. So think about it. That economy kept going. And then you can say, well, nothing really happened. We were all at home. Well, did you? So you're telling me when you were at home, you didn't eat? When you're at home, you didn't use your electric? When you're at home, you didn't use your internet? How many internet services, how many apps actually made more money? When did Netflix get famous? Netflix got famous when? During COVID. They went up in value. See, these are the things that they trick us on. The government, the media, all of they trick us. Why? Because they say, oh, we're broke. We didn't make no money. Did they? Did any of us get it? I think a little bit. We got a break on I think we got some breaks on the grocery tax. I think on the tax we got a break in Illinois. I think we did. So I might be misspeaking here. But the point I'm trying to make is besides suspension of taxes, rebates on taxes, right? Hey, we made extra money this year as a state, so we're going to give everybody the money back, right? Some stuff like that, right?
It's to be a massive headache.
So, I mean, I think no one's done an audit. No one's actually done, oh man, sorry about this. No one's actually done an audit of all of that money. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I know this is why I get attacked. I believe a lot of Republicans, they ripped off a lot of money too. Oh man. So think, you know, Texas sent all those migrants here. You know, who owned those buses? Who owned those airplanes from Venezuela? Right?
In a single stop.
Who owned those buses that made money shipping the migrants here? Who owned the airplanes, the chartered planes from Venezuela?
And construction.
Who did? Does anybody investigate that stuff? Did anyone investigate that?
Imagined for years. Get started on that kitchen you've always
No, they
wanted
didn't.
now. Schedule a meeting at normandyremodeling.com.
There you go, man.
That's
Right here, Milwaukee Avenue.
normandyremodeling.com.
Look at that.
Your home made better.
It's 5:11. People are being warned to stay away from the so-called shelf ice along the shores of Lake Michigan.
It can be beautiful at times and
it's getting
hazardous.
worse over
Drawing
here,
people
man.
onto
Look at
the
that.
ice, taking pictures and video. Dave Benjamin with the Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project says admire it from shore. It may seem solid, but you never know what's below. Waves hitting the shelf ice create what are often referred to as ice
Look at that.
volcanoes.
And those can get very tall, and that becomes another attractive nuisance where people see a hill and want to climb it.
That's
At
bad,
the top
ain't it?
of this is going to be the weakest part, the part that formed last, and you could, go through. Now you're in like this ice cavern.
If you're alone and you fall through, he notes people may not hear your cries for help. And it can also be dangerous for dogs. They might try to get to the open water and might not be able to make it back depending on the height of the shelf ice. Mike Krauser, News Radio, 105.9 WBBM.
Some new data is shedding some light on what's killing officers in the line of duty here in the U.S.
According to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, firearms-related fatalities claimed the lives of 44 officers in the line of duty last year, while traffic accidents killed 34 officers, and an additional 33 officers died from other causes, including health-related issues. The organization says in total, 111 officers from federal, state, county, and municipal agencies died in the line of duty in 2025. That's down from 148 in 2024 and marks an 80-year low. Mai Martinez, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
One of Chicago's pro soccer teams getting a new place to practice. Women's soccer team, the Chicago Stars, say the training facility will be a 10-acre site in north suburban Bannockburn, not slated to open until 2027, but some highlights include 2 full-size soccer pitches.
That's the new Bally's. Everybody knows that right there, right?
Outdoor access. Warmer but more rainy on Thursday. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up. It's 5:13.
Shall we? Making breakfast?
That's the new Bally's right there.
You get your day started. News Radio 105.9.
That's why they kicked the guys out from the chocolate factory over there, right? They got that new business here, right? You see, that was bad on Milwaukee Avenue, man. Imagine that's a main street there, right? That's how life goes, right? That shows you how much the city cares about us, right? It doesn't care about us as the citizens to want the right of way on a sidewalk, and don't care about the homeless people to get them a place, right? Doesn't care about either one of us. All they say is give me more tax money, right?
And then you go about your day. Simple procedures that can deliver big.
I mean, again, that's the stuff we need to be talking about. Now, the next part of it is, what are we going to do about it? What are we actually going to do about that, right? What are we going to do about it? And then a lot of the left terrorists, cyber trolls say, it's your fault, you need to go clean that. Well, it ain't. We pay taxes to have that clean. We're not in the country where there ain't nobody out here, right? We actually have streets and sand. We have ward supervisors. We have all kinds of services that we pay for through our taxes. So I think one of the things is, and I like this Bailey, right? The guy that's running for governor. He says he wants to do an Illinois Doge, which I think is a good idea. We need to audit everything that's happening in our state. And they spray painted all the graffiti here. You see that? They cleaned this whole area up here. This is all graffitied up over here. You see that there? It's all cleaned up. See that there? This is all graffitied up. It's all cleaned up now.
Right now to seek justice and compensation. Call 800-712-3253. That's 800-712-3253. 800-712-3253.
5:15, the AccuWeather 5-day forecast sponsored by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. And here's meteorologist John Ferrick.
We're going to have a fair amount of clouds out there for tonight. Not out of the question, there's a few pockets of fog as well, but should generally stay dry. We'll dip back to 33 for tonight. Then tomorrow, clouds break for a little bit of sunshine, becoming breezy. We're up to 44. Patchy clouds tomorrow night, low 38. And then we'll turn out cloudy Thursday. Dry to start, but rain comes in the afternoon, up to 53. And then we'll have rain Thursday night. Tapers off early Friday. Lingering clouds on Friday. The high up to 43. And then another storm comes in on Saturday. We can see some rain or wet snow with that. Definitely stay tuned for further updates. The high Saturday, 39. Right now, Lakefront 42, Midway 41, 40, Bensonville, O'Hare 40, going down to 33. This is AccuWeather meteorologist John Fear.
All right, John, thank you. It's 5:16. Time to find a new Chevrolet at applechevy.com. Together, let's drive. And from the applechevy.com sports desk, here's Mike Esposito.
Lisa, thank you. Round 2 of Bears-Packers was a classic. Bears fans are hoping for another one just like it on Saturday night at Soldier Field, just 3 weeks after Caleb Williams hit DJ Moore with a game winner in overtime against Green Bay. Now, the Packers had the lead in that one throughout the fourth, but a field goal, then an onside kick, followed by the game-tying touchdown on fourth down, all led to that overtime and to DJ Moore's exciting game winner. Here's head coach Ben Johnson.
Teams understand when they play us now that they have to earn it. They got to really close us out if they want to get the victory, because we can score points in bunches. We can do it in a short amount of time. And I think we've proven that.
And on the injury front, 2 players activated from IR today. The practice windows opened as what I mean. Braxton Jones and Kyler Gordon. And as for Jones, he practiced in full today. Gordon was limited, as was Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, and Ozzie Trapillo. Did not practices for today CJ Gardner-Johnson, who remains in concussion protocol, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, and Jade Walker. Big news coming out of Baltimore in the NFL. John Harbaugh, their head coach for 18 seasons, is out after the Ravens missed the playoffs by missing a kick on Sunday Night Football. The Lions have fired Ben Johnson's replacement, offensive coordinator John Morton, after only 1 season, and former Bears head coach Matt Eberflus out at defensive coordinator in Dallas. The Bulls look shaky in last night's big loss at Boston. They will regroup tonight before getting back on the floor at Detroit tomorrow night. Hawks are home tomorrow night. They're off tonight, but they'll be at the UC hosting St. Louis tomorrow night. The Hawks have won 3 straight. And we do have college basketball in town tonight as DePaul hosts Georgetown. With sports at 16 and 46, I'm 670 The Score's Mike Esposito on News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
It is 5:18. Traffic now sponsored by Matrix Basements. Here's Neil.
No trouble spots. We do have delays, though, on most of our expressways. Starting on the Edens, now outbound, you're heavy from the junction of Foster and right around Toohey, 20 minutes out, 30 minutes inbound. On the Kennedy leaving downtown, outbound to get to the Montrose exit, 23. You save 3 in the express lanes between downtown and the Edens. 42 to head out to O'Hare, 45 in from O'Hare into downtown, 23 off the junction. Traffic is nice and light on I-190. That's the O'Hare extension. Either way, between the O'Hare terminals and the Kennedy, you're fine. On the Eisenhower going outbound, 35 to Manheim, 56 to I-90. Just about an hour to come in from 90 and 35 minutes in from Manheim. Stevenson going outbound at 25 to Cicero, 34 to the Tri-State, 50 if you're headed out to the Veterans Tollway, 40 minutes in from 355.
Let's see what's on the radio calls if we missed anything, all right?
I get the event number for FOIA investigation at 16 East 122nd Place. Can I get RD? 7386, boy. 7385, David.
85 David.
I get 2 advantage numbers, Chicago Red, north and south left.
08589, 08589, and 08589. 08591. 08591.
570 Adam.
6570 Adam.
Hey, good afternoon. Firearm investigation, please. At 6253 South Cottage Road. Can I get a number for 5114?
Alright, that's going to be John King, 106041. John King, 106041, on event 08608.
7383 Henry.
83 Henry.
Bus number 1248 heading southbound on Michigan. May I have a number?
08617. 08617.
7383 George.
7383 George.
Yes, ma'am. Event number for bus 8592 westbound Cicero. I'm sorry, westbound on Roosevelt, Cicero to Kedzie.
08651. 08651.
7383 Frank.
83 Frank.
So can I get a VIN number for today? Bus arising from Vincent on 79 going eastbound.
08662. 08662. From my unit 25 in City West.
He's a maniac, that guy. He's zigzagging everywhere.
Call says one shot fired, bullet hole in her rear window. It's not that far there. District 25 Northwest.
6595 King.
6595 King.
Can I get the VIN number for investigation at 16 East 100?
Yeah, bunches of money was taken. And I'm gonna say one more time, the Republicans were part of it. They stole the money too. That is why, think about it. There is no investigation. None. Why haven't they released the Epstein files? Oh, you're Trump, anti-Trump. No, Trump's whole campaign was the Epstein files. That's all he ever talked about was Epstein files. Why do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene quit? Because she knew they're jacking the Epstein files. Sorry to use that word. That's why she quit. She said it why she's quitting. Because they're covering up the Epstein files. She said, I'm quitting because of the Epstein files. She said it. Because they didn't release it. She was with the victims that day when they released it. Remember that? That's why she quit. They're covering the stuff up. The Republicans are just as bad as the Democrats. Man, they got tents over there. Look at that. See that there? They got tents right there. See that? New tent city, huh? Everybody's seen those tents, right?
It was, let me see, 1606.
What's the number?
08292. 08292.
6570 Paul.
6570 Paul.
Good evening, squad. Can I get a firearm investigation? 7205 South Maplewood.
08772.
The old landing zone. This is where the migrants used to come into. Well, their first place was down the street, then they came here. All that money came through here. The feds were here. This is a federal operation. The feds were here.
87 Charlie.
It was a federal operation.
Upper lower Jefferson Park Blue Line. And then L rise Jefferson Park Blue Square.
Alright, upper 08821. 08821. Lower 08822. 08822. And give me 1 second. Alright, and from Jefferson Park to Logan Square is going to be 08825. 08825.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
89 Frank.
89 Frank.
That's correct. Can I have a number for riding a bus from State going eastbound on 79th Street?
08833, 08833.
6595 Ida.
6595 Ida.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. Can I get an RD and an event number for firearm investigation? Address is 1845 West on Roscoe, please.
All right. Take John King, 106072. John King, 106072 on event 08838.
Thank you.
All right, we're getting a check of well-being over at the Green Line at 47th Street on the northbound platform. There's a male black wearing a blue shirt, black pants, rolling around on the ground. Fires en route.
Overdose.
Is the 6 in City West, shots fired, 7505 South Peoria. Caller discovered 2 shots fired in a parked vehicle, black Chevy Malibu, 2008, Eddie Lincoln 12978. That's further zone 8.
388 Adam.
88 Adam.
Can I get 2 for upper lower blue line in Pulaski?
08887, 08887, and 08889, 08889.
So the units in Seoul Citywide have taken a shots fired at Damon and Jackson. Jackson and Damon shared 2 shots and sees a car with their hazards on pulled over on Jackson near the village. She doesn't know if it's related. It's a dark colored sedan. I have nothing further. 12th District, Zone 3.
Putting units in 3 and on the citywide. I got a battery in progress at Wadsworth, 6650 South on Ellis with 10 to 15 kids and parents fighting outside. Vice Principal and Principal left there. 3rd District, Zone 7.
Fight at Wadsworth, right?
Henry.
83 Henry.
Bus number 1736 on Michigan heading north, southbound. Have any good number?
08922, 08922.
Fight at Wadsworth School. Parents and students fighting. Fight at Wadsworth Elementary School. Parents and students fighting.
6232 Adam, did this PDT with the emergency button?
No, nothing popped up on my screen. And I just checked your history. Nothing's there. Why, do you have an emergency? Are you okay?
No, it's fine. I was just taking out the PDT on what went wrong with him. Acting up.
Okay, 10-4.
7383 Charlie.
83 Charlie.
I get 2 event numbers, 1 for upper, 1 for lower at 79 red line, please.
Upper 08961, 08961. Lower 08964, 08964.
For council time is 1700 hours on the 6th of January 2026. Chicago Police Department, 2020 radio split.
304 Sam.
04 Sam.
Yes, well, let me get 2 numbers for up and down 95th Street rail line.
Alright, upper 08978, 08978. Lower is 08979, 08979.
7383 Henry.
83 Henry.
Bus number 4321 is heading southbound on Michigan. Can I have your VIN number?
08991, 08991.
78383 Frank.
83 Frank.
83 Frank Squad. Can I have a VIN number for bus riding 179 from Santa Laura going westbound?
Zero 9009. 09009.
Citywide.
Booze, guns, and bullets.
PH3, you're going back to base.
10-4. The visibility is no good.
That's the helicopter.
'83 Adam.
83 Adam.
Can we get an upper and a lower at 95th red line?
Alright, upper 09029, 09029. Lower 09030, 09030.
Perfect. '83 Adam.
88 Adam.
Can I get 2 for upper and lower? We're at Blue and Cicero. Left.
Alright, upper is 09037, 09037. Lower is 09039, 09039.
383 Henry.
83 Henry.
I'm on bus number 7453.
Well, it's foggy today. You can only see half the Sears Tower. The Sears Tower is cut off. You see that there?
09049,
It's kind of fun. I got to upload something. That's why I stopped here. Check that out. The Sears Tower is
Units in 14 and
cut.
citywide. One ticket of shots fired at Evergreen and Rockwell. Rockwell and Evergreen, there are 10 shots in the area. I have nothing further on at 14th District, Zone 3.
7383 David.
83 David.
Can I get 2 numbers for Roosevelt and Redline?
09077, 09077, and 09079, 09079.
7386 Adam.
86 Adam.
Yes, so I got 2 events for Jackson at Redline, upper and lower.
Upper 09090, 09090. Lower is 09092, 09092.
388 Charlie.
88 Charlie.
Numbers upper and lower, Blue Line, opposite.
09096, 09096, and 09099, 09099.
7386 Eddie.
86 Eddie.
We get 2 for the Howard Redline, please. 1 upper and 1 lower.
Alright, upper 09111, 09111. Lower 09115, 09115.
See that? The Sears Tower is cut off. That's the Sears Tower right in front of you. Right there. See that there? The top is cut off. Pretty fun. I'll get a better view of it for you. I know a better view. I'll show it to you.
91 boy.
What numbers for Jackson? 1 for red, 1 for blue, please.
Alright, red is 09173, 09173. Blue is going to be 09176, 091. Hold on. Alright, 91 boy, I don't know what I just gave you, but take 09174, 09174, and 09173, 09173.
7383 George.
83 George.
What's up, Rob?
Bus number 8944, westbound Roosevelt.
See that? The Sears Tower, the top of it's gone. See that there? I should have went and got you a better view from it's too late. We're not there anymore. I might get a better view over here.
Upper and lower at the Clark and Lake Blue Line.
I know where we'll do. We'll finish our broadcast up in a place. I'll show you downtown. It's foggy. I'll show you some.
Frank.
83 Frank.
Okay, I have number 4 riding a bus on 79th Street from Normal going west.
09197. 09197.
388 Charlie.
88 Charlie.
2 event numbers at Clinton Blue Line, upper and lower.
Hey, upper 09207, 09207, and lower 09208, 09208.
Still 373.
7373.
Get an event for upper and lower 69 from the rear.
Alright, upper is 09218, 09218. Lower 09221, 09221.
What's up, Rob?
For the units in 14 citywide, an assault in progress in front of McGrath Lexus, 1250 West Division, 1250 West Division. Callers in a heated dispute with a male white wearing a red hat and white hoodie in front of McGrath Lexus. I have nothing further on at 14th District, Zone 3.
7386, boy. Still 373.
7373.
Get an event for upper and lower 69 from the rear.
Man, there's ghouls walking around here. You see that there?
Upper is 09218, 09218. Lower 09221, 09221.
For the units in 14 citywide, an assault in progress in front of McGrath Lexus, 1250 West Division, 1250 West Division. Callers in a heated dispute with a male white wearing a red hat and white hoodie in front of McGrath Lexus. I have nothing further on at 14th District, Zone 3.
7386, boy.
86 boy.
Squad, can I get 2 events, upper lower deck at the Clark and Lake Blue Line?
09234, 09234, and 09236, 09236.
Copy, thank you.
You gotta see it's pretty bad over here, right? Bad there, right? See that there? See that how bad it is there? Yeah, it's bad.
South Loomis, 1805 South Loomis. There's a male tank trespassing. He's wearing a brown top. No FSC, nothing further. 12th District, Zone 3.
Alright guys, I'll show you guys a nice spot where you can see the downtown, where it got cut off.
7372.
2 events, 69th in the rear, upper and lower.
Upper 09296, 09296. Lower is going to be 09300, 09300.
You know, one of the things is, as I learned as a teacher, like I kept saying, I have to repeat things to learn myself. I go through the same places. I went through these same places years, and I got interviews with guys over here at before the DNC kicked them out on Roosevelt and Des Plaines, right? And they just moved them. So the idea is are things improving in our city? You know what? I don't know. Are they? I don't see an improvement. I see it getting worse. I'm going to be honest with everybody on this video. When the migrants were downtown, there was more people. There was more thieves and more criminality. But there was more people. I'm gonna say that honestly. When the migrants were all downtown at the downtown shelters, because they were at the Standard Club, they were over at the Inn of Chicago, and I think they were at another place. And then they were all on that west side over there. They were down on Lake Street. They were on Ogden. They were in Greektown. There was a lot of migrants downtown, and it kind of filled it up. You can say it was good or bad, but since they got rid of the migrants, it's kind of bad downtown. It's worse. I'm sorry to say that, but that's my observations. So it's worse than it was a year ago. They're all on Pulaski now?
Yeah, it's 09339, 09339.
I'm going up here to show you guys the missing Sears Tower.
83 David. 83 David.
Red number for Chicago Red, north and south platform.
North end 09386, 09386 south is going to be 09389, 09389.
Units in 17 Citywide came as a person with a gun at St. Louis and Foster. She says at the Bohemian Cemetery, she's a female. She says 5 guys with guns are coming after her, and she hung up. Nothing further, zone clear. 7388 Adam.
7388 Adam.
Right, I get 2 for the medical district on the blue line.
09397, 09397, and 09399, 09399.
7383 Frank.
That's downtown, right?
Thank you, red number for bus right from Woods going eastbound on 79th Street.
09404, 09404.
7386 boy.
86 boy.
216 North Wabash, please, because I could just...
These are the evicted DNC encampment tent people. You see, it's not getting any better over here. About 5:40 p.m., January 6, 2026. Raoul and Roosevelt. That's nice outside. Did you guys open your windows today?
411, enjoy.
7353.
7353.
Is that number for upper and lower Howard Red Line?
Upper 09415, 09415, lower 09416, 09416.
There you go. The top of the buildings are gone, huh?
Citywide, we're getting the person with a knife, 7836 South Ridgeland, 7836 South Ridgeland. Andrina called and stated her 24-year-old son has a knife and is fighting her other son. I got no further. 4th District Zone 8 radio clear.
That's bad. Family dispute.
4-1. For the units in 5 and Citywide, getting the call of a person with a gun, 10440 South Eberhart on the 2nd floor. The caller states 3 teams are at the back door with guns trying to break in. No descriptions, no furthers on that. Alright, we're getting an EMS call over at the red line at 95th Street, 15 West 95th on the south end. Says that a female pushed a male down. He hit his head and is now unconscious. Says the couple has been drinking. Both still are on scene. Fires en route. 7304.
It's beautiful out.
We'll take a look. 04 sample.
Alright, thank you.
citywide 1.
24 12.
East squad.
Drunk couple fighting 95th Street Red Line. She pushed him down and now he's unconscious on the platform.
Squad, can we order a K9 to the 24th District at 6464 North Clark for a money sniff related to narcotics seizure?
Alright, is it over $500?
10-4, do you need an amount?
If you have it, I'll take it.
751 USD.
Alright, and this is from your step on Paulino, right?
Correct.
Alright, 10-4, we'll get somebody over there.
10-4 spot, switching back to the zone.
Alright, 10-4. Available K9 for a money sniff in 24.
4734.
34, thank you.
There you go. It's nice, the reflection, right? It's nice. Alright. We're about gonna wrap it up tonight. I'll do one more stop over at the Halstead area, see if the drug tents are out there. And then we'll call it quits for tonight. We're even with the radio call, so we're doing good. Hopefully everybody's doing fine. Open up those windows, get some of that fresh air into those things. You know, that's one of the things that really spread the COVID, and I don't know if anybody knows that. One of the things that spread the COVID a lot is inside, right? And if you read, when that COVID hit years ago, I read about the plague, because the COVID is the plague. It's the same thing. It's just a mutated whatever. And it comes every few hundred years. It kills off a bunch of people. And what it is, they got books on the plague going back to the 1500s, 1300s. I think the earliest plague book was 1400. I think it's in Italian or whatever it is, or Greek or Latin, right? And I don't know how I read it. I translated. I don't know what I did. But one of the things, well, there's a few things. They had a bunch of weird medicines there that they said they used. But the main thing about that disease, it's just like when the tuberculosis and TBs happened in the early 1900s. That big place over there on Peterson, that used to be a tuberculosis sanitarium. Everybody knows that one, right? Over there, that was tuberculosis sanitarium. It's now a retirement in a park district. You know where I'm talking about, over on Peterson, right? It said, sunshine, fresh air, and rest. Sunshine, fresh air, and rest. And I've been talking about this for over 20 years now, this thing. We become so encapsulated, meaning everything is sealed, hermetically sealed, and then we clean everything with chemicals. And two things. We're not immune to stuff anymore because we clean a lot, which is good. We don't want a lot of diseases killing us. But we have to have natural immunity. But the second thing is part of that natural immunity, we're going to go back this way again, right? We might go down hall. You know what? We'll go over here. We'll go on Roosevelt. Part of that natural immunity is fresh air and sunshine. That's what helps kills germs. That's why I say open up those windows, because why? We're sealed in for the winter, and we got the forced air blowing all that germs around in our house. The best heat in your home is the best heat is radiant heat. And the best radiant heat is actually floor heat or slab heat. Is where it heats up the whole slab and it's all even, and you're not getting these there's a word for it. I used to study all of this stuff. When you're in certain rooms, you can feel it's cool on one side and hot on another side. I forget what that's called. The HVAC guys on the video can tell you. But slab heat heats the slab and then it warms everything. And it stays even. And what people don't like about slab heat or radiant heat sometimes is it's not hot enough, or it doesn't get warm enough, especially for people like a little bit warmer. Right? I had a buddy of mine I knew for many years, Bruce. He loved his place warm. He liked it 80 degrees in the winter. He loved it. Right? Whatever. Yeah, that's how he was. Some people like that. Some people don't. But slab heat keeps everything even. So you don't have that, oh, it's hot spots. That's what it's called, hot spots. There you go, hot spots, cold spots. So with radiant heat or slab heat, that's how it is. But that's the best heat because it's even and your body doesn't feel, like right now I'm in my car, I can feel my front end because that's where the heat is in a car. Everybody knows how cars heat. They heat through your radiator, right? It goes through your heater cord and it flows through your car through the front end, right? If you had a mid-engine, like the old Ford vans, remember the mid-engine Ford vans, and then you had the Previas, but they were a little higher. You would have heat inside of the car next to you because you got the engine right next to you. Same thing with my Jeep. Those 3.6s are really bad, and it comes through the firewall. But you have the heat that goes through your dashboard, basically, and then it blows it. That's your force air. And I can feel there's a difference in heat when it's cold, right? Right now, I feel the front of me is warm, but the back of me is cooler, right? And those are hot spots. Well, with radiant floor heat or slab heat, everything's warm because everything is the same temperature, right? It heats everything together. It's I don't know what it's called. It's radiant heat, but it's a different type of heat. There's convection radiant heat, blah, 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 blah. But that's the best heat. And the reason I'm saying all of this is because I said open your windows, get some of that fresh air. It helps kill the germs. Everybody knows this. Grandmas used to do this, right? You take your blankets out, you get the fresh air, and then you bring them in. It smells good, right? Because of that fresh air in there. It kills the germs. It kills the staleness. All those little micro whatevers are living in whatever we have, right? It kills them all, right? Some of them don't like that stuff. Now, some of them do, right? But yeah, we didn't really talk about that during COVID, right? It didn't really get past the scare tactics, right? And we were scared on both sides. And now they're talking about the flu again and everything. And it's like, yeah, it comes every year, right? We have the flu, we have sicknesses. That's what happens. Why? Because we're more inside. In the winter, we're inside, right? In the summer, we're outside and we have windows open. It's pretty simple stuff. And when I was, like I said, when I was reading about all that COVID stuff, that's what they talked about, right? They went all the way back, and that's where we got everybody knows that's where our park districts came from, right? At McKinley Park, the field house was built during the Spanish flu epidemic. And they were built because people didn't have running water. They didn't have places to cook, right? They were just like tenements, right? You just slept and maybe had a washroom a little bit where you did that, but they were very just sleeping rooms. People just had sleeping rooms in their houses. That's it. So the park districts developed the field house concept, right? So you can shower. There were infirmaries. There's communal cooking in there and all of that stuff. So look it up. McKinley Park has a whole, you look up McKinley Park, look in there, the field house, and it tells you about that. There's more books written on it. So the reason I'm talking about this now is we've gotten away from communal living. And I'm not talking about the hippies sleeping with each other stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about communal living where what I do affects you. So I want to be healthy, I want to stay healthy, so you stay healthy. You kind of get where I'm going with that? We've all become this isolated silo lifestyles, right? Where we live in our little things and we go do our communal stuff, right? We go to work, we go to school, we go to sports events, we do all of those things. But we don't live together, right? We don't live in close proximity with each other.
Peoria 68, the concerned citizen said it's a male white with a shotgun and a yellow moving truck. It was a male black, red, gray sweater that pulled away. I got no further.
That's pretty wild. We got a shotgun in a moving truck, man. So by communal living, I mean that we live together more, right? We do more community activities. That we have a lot less. Look, everything's online now. Think about everything we used to do. We used to phone each other. We used to go out to restaurants. We used to go out to diners. We used to go out to hot dog stands like I did today, right? There's different, think about it. There's diners, restaurants, hot dog stands, hot dog carts, bars, taverns, pubs. Every one of those had a different function in our society. I was just talking to somebody today. We used to have bars on every corner. I said we should have that again. First of all, you don't have to drive. You can get drunk and walk home. You're with your neighbors. The neighborhood tavern was the neighborhood people. It wasn't going across town and now you're getting into a gunfight because you're the different gang or a different person or whatever you are. That's what I'm talking about. We've stopped communally living together, sharing our life with other people. We're married. We go to parks. Look, I'm outside all the time, but you kind of get what I'm saying. We're more individualistic. We're more isolated now. We don't need to go out. And there's a lot of people like me. I go out and do things with a lot of people, but I'm not doing as much as I used to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we rode our bikes outside. We stayed at the field house, at the park district, at the play lot. We were out all the time. We barely went home. The only time we were home is for breakfast and for dinner, and then the homework and go to sleep. That's it. And let's see what's going on over here at 23rd and Halsted. See if they got the drug tents still out there. Oh, where's the bike people there? Let's see this. There we go. There we go. You got all kinds of stuff happening there. That's the shelter right there. See that there? There you go. This is the 23rd Street shelter here on Halsted, right? Got some people hanging out. It's a 24-hour shelter. You can enter it 24 hours a day. It's co-ed. Males and females stay here. I'm waiting for traffic to pass me. I'm going to see if they have these drug tents over here that they've had for a little while. I'm pretty sure they are because the weather's pretty warm. They got people hanging out here. I don't know why they allow that. They have a whole big courtyard. They have a back parking lot. They don't need to let people hanging out here, but they do. It's the city. They don't care. Yeah, they let people. There's courtyards and all that here. Let's see this here. And then they got this. They still got a big drug tent here, right? They do whoring here too. They do hookers and stuff out here. There you go. There's a big tent. Strange, isn't it? See, what did I say? They got a big courtyard there. Why don't they let the tent be? So why does the city allow the tent there? Why does the city allow the tent there? But they have a court out here. Those of you guys are live on Facebook. There's a courtyard right there, but they don't let it. Why? Because they do illegal activities in that thing, right? That's again, there's a tent. That's the city-run shelter, but they don't let them put their tent over there. I wonder why, right? Probably because they're doing illegal stuff in there. That's why. And if they're doing illegal stuff in there, and why does the city allow them to do illegal stuff in there on the sidewalk? There you go, SubX.News. Let's listen to 6 o'clock news and we'll call it a night.
In Romeoville.
Featuring the news that matters and breaking news at any time. This is Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Coming up in the next half hour on News Radio WBBM.
The Speaker of the Illinois House is a Bears fan, but he's not a fan of giving the team more help to build a new stadium in the suburbs.
Strange.
I'm political editor Jeff Buckles
in front of a homeless
Northwest
shelter.
Memorial Hospital
Weird,
says it wants a bigger emergency room, but staffers say only on
6
board
p.m.
if it's properly
January
staffed.
6th,
Plus, the White House says that
2026.
acquiring Greenland now is a national security priority for the U.S. Latest on that coming up from CBS News and Business.
I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg. Fresh record highs today for the Dow and the S&P thanks to AI stocks. The Dow today shooting up 485 points. The Nasdaq up 151. The S&P up 43.
It is 6 o'clock.
My kids make fun of me because they're
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The White House says the U.S. military is always an option in Greenland as European leaders reject a U.S. takeover. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
The president is quite serious about his ambitions in Greenland, saying this afternoon that U.S. military action to take Greenland is not off the table, but that there are also discussions about possibly acquiring the territory that is part of the Kingdom of Denmark or setting up some kind of free association that would allow for much more U.S. involvement and presence there.
Greenland and Denmark are asking for a speedy meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Venezuelan officials say among the dead are at least 24 security personnel in the U.S. raid that captured Nicolas Maduro and his wife last weekend, and they've declared a week of mourning. This in addition to the 32 Cuban personnel that government said died as part of Maduro's security detail. CBS's Lilia Luciano is in Colombia at the border with Venezuela and says the situation remains tense.
The vast majority of people we've approached who are Venezuelan, and even including some who live here in Colombia that we see and we talk to coming out of Venezuela, do not want to speak at all about what is happening in Venezuela unless they are supporting the Maduro regime.
The Justice Department says the man who shot and killed 2 Brown University students and an MIT professor last month planned the attacks for months. They've been reviewing videos left behind confessing to the murders. CBS's Anna Schechter.
He did not give a specific motive, and the Department of Justice put out a release saying explicitly that their investigation into the motives behind his heinous acts will continue.
Today marks 5 years since the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. The riots led to the largest criminal prosecution in American history. But President Trump pardoned every single defendant on his first day in office. CBS's Scott McFarland reports.
CBS News has learned Senate Democrats have now formally proposed a bill to prevent any taxpayer-funded settlements with January 6 rioters who sue civilly. That sounds far-fetched. You should note that one of the estates for one of the rioters, Ashley Babbitt, who was shot and killed here by police as she breached the House Speaker's lobby, they sued civilly and they received a multi-million-dollar settlement from the Trump administration. There's a new legislation to stop that from happening again.
The Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute has announced on social media the death of Michael Reagan, a conservative commentator and the eldest son of late President Ronald Reagan. He was 80 years old. His cause of death was not immediately announced. This is CBS News.
You still got it.
So you break into the Capitol, the cops shoot you down dead, and then your family gets millions of dollars. Man, wow, they're doing good over here. That whole mall is packed there with cars. They're doing good. Look at that. That's good to see. That whole mall is packed with cars there. There you go, man. That's nice. But imagine that. So you break the law, you get shot, you're dead, and then someone sues and says you owe us money for shooting our family member who was breaking the law. That's pretty wild stuff there, man. Man, I don't know about that one. That's blood money there. That's all I gotta say. And whoever gave that family money is pretty nasty. Yeah, that ain't cool, man. And they talk, and you know, all these people talking about stuff that happens in Chicago and exonerated stuff, and I have my views on that and what's wrong with that too. But you just heard it. So you have a January 6th family, person's guilty, gets shot, they protected the Capitol from this crazy whackhead that smashed the window. There's videos of her smashing the window, and then her family gets millions of dollars. Yeah. And they talk about stuff. The MAGAs, right?
Inflammatory texts of his were revealed during an antitrust trial brought by 2 race teams. In the text, he called Hall of Fame team owner Richard Childress a stupid redneck who needs to be taken out back and flogged. Phelps apologized to Childress and tried to move beyond the controversy and the trial last month.
I'm trying my hardest, both a fan as well as the commissioner of this sport that I've loved since I was 5 years old.
Phelps will step down at the end of the month. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
John Harbaugh has been fired after 18 seasons as the Baltimore Ravens coach. Owner Steve Bisciotti says he relieved Harbaugh of his duties after the Ravens were one of the league's most disappointing teams this season. They went 8-9 and missed the playoffs after entering Week 1 as one of the Super Bowl favorites. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station, News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
It is 6:05, Monday night, the 6th day of January. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lisa Fielding. We have cloudy skies, 40 degrees. We've got some fog reported throughout the area. West winds at 8 miles an hour. Cloudy tonight, a low in the 30s, a high tomorrow of 46. Warmer by Thursday. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up for you in 10 minutes at 6:15. But first at 6, the question, where are the Bears going to build their new football stadium? It still remains unanswered. Now, the self-described fan who serves as Speaker of the Illinois House says the team's pitch for state help is the wrong game plan at the wrong time. The story tonight from WBBM political editor Jeff Buchholz.
Chicago Democrat Emmanuel Chris Welch says he's planning to attend Saturday's playoff game against the Packers.
The Bears are an iconic franchise in the NFL. They're an iconic institution in the city of Chicago.
But Welch suggested to the City Club of Chicago that even iconic institutions have to read the room, and that the team's request for a property tax break at Arlington Park is, and this is his word, insensitive when voters are struggling to deal with rising costs across the board.
Everything's about affordability, and that's going to be our focus.
So what about the talk about a stadium in Northwest Indiana? The speaker told reporters he thinks it's part of negotiating, and his door is open. We're in the newsroom, Jeff Buchholz, News Radio 105.9. WBBM.
A proposed $200 million increase in gas rates fueled a rally on the doorsteps of People's Gas today. Consumer advocates assembled outside the headquarters at the Aon building to oppose its latest request for a rate increase starting next year to fund the replacement of more than 1,000 miles of old iron gas pipes. Abe Scar is from the Illinois Public Interest Research Group. He says the utility needs to explore more efficient ways to make old pipes safer.
One example is what's known as relining, where you can insert a liner into the pipe, and that can extend the life of the pipe for 100 years, eliminate leaks, and drastically reduce the risks of failure, all while costing less for Chicagoans.
The utility says it needs the increase to do the work regulators have directed them to complete. If approved, it could add approximately $10 to the average monthly heating bill. Well, if you're looking for a job, President Barack Obama is inviting you to apply at the new Presidential Center opening on the South Side this year.
Applications are now open for 150 full-time career opportunities at the center. The roles will staff the center day to day.
We need people who will keep this place safe and welcoming as security officers, who will make it shine as custodians, and who will greet visitors from around the world as visitor associates, our ambassadors of hope.
To help identify and recruit local residents for the new roles, the Obama Foundation will be partnering with 4 community-based organizations. The latest cohort is expected to start work in late March.
When people come here, we want them to feel what makes the South Side so special. The mix of warmth and grit, the sense of humor that can brighten any day, the creativity that turns challenges into opportunities, and the joy that shows up in every block, every place of worship, and every family reunion. If you're ready to be a part of something bigger, please consider joining us.
Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9
There you go.
WBBM.
Let's get jobs.
Traffic and weather together.
Seriously, I'm thinking about applying. Why not? Look, I'm 57. I'm not going back to construction. I don't know if I'll go back to teaching. I'm waiting for a ruling on one of my cases. You know, I'm going towards my twilight. Maybe working at the Obama Library, or whatever it's called. It's the Obama Library. Maybe that's right. You know, I do have my dissertation is on the history of Chicago education and building the school system and immigrants. So they might like that. I guess I could talk about Chicago. Maybe I should apply. What do you think? I mean, $15-20 an hour. Maybe I can be some kind of I don't know what I'll be. Maybe be an archivist or something. I don't know. They might have some of those fancy jobs there, right? Maybe I'll get a fancy job. We'll see. Maybe I can get a 40 or 50. I don't. This is what I'm thinking as towards my age. I think I'd be all right with a $40,000 to $50,000 job. I used to make a lot more, so you can look up my salary. It's on the internet, so it's not a secret. So that's about it for our broadcast. Appreciate everybody watching. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff not happening, but hey, like I said earlier, 2 major observations today. You've seen Downtown is completely empty, and it's a beautiful evening. It's 45 degrees, and you've seen Michigan Avenue was empty. You've seen State Street was empty. You've seen Kinsey was empty. And then what did you see? You've seen a bunch of stuff, people in tents and everything. So, you know, when is the city going to get on top of this? I have a feeling we're going to see more movement from the city to clean it up, to freshen it up. They did that for the DNC. Now as the elections comes on, you know, this is election year, right? Next March is the city elections. Not this March, the next March. So now you're going to start seeing that stuff line up. I'm pretty sure it's next March. Yeah, 27, right? And you're gonna see a lot of movement. I just seen I don't write about it too much. I don't like promoting certain things I don't like. The mayor's put out at least 4, I think I'd seen 2 or 3 press releases came to my email about grants. He's gonna start giving out a lot of money. Here, this is what I gotta say. Go get a job, get some money. Because you don't like somebody's politics, that don't mean you don't feed your family. There's a lot of money out there right now coming out of, there's Fed money, there's state money, there's county money, and there's going to be a lot of money coming out of the city because of the elections. It's your time. Go get it. Go get the money. And if you want change, you have to be part of the system. You're not going to beat it by being on the internet. I'm going to tell you that. You're not going to win no elections on the internet. And maybe you can't win an election, but maybe you can create change from the inside. That's what I want to say today. No matter what we see on the outside, if you don't like what you see, then we have to do the change, right? And that's part of what I do here on SubX.News. I spend my time. But I gotta go because I got a movie night with my kid. Take it easy, everybody. Good night. 6:13 p.m. January 6, 2026. SubX.News signing off. Thank you for watching.